folks. Welcome back. The Market Collapse Q&A, where I will attempt to answer all of your questions about the collapsing Pokemon hobby. I'll let you know just when we will reach that. I'll tell you which things to sell so you can still make enough to maybe get a Big Mac. If you're lucky, you can go down the street to Dairy Queen and get yourself a Blizzard. But that's about all we can get out of our Pokemon products at this point. It is over. It is over. Welcome back, guys. Happy Friday. Hope everyone had a fantastic week. Guys, I don't really have anything major, no thing to talk about, no topic. It's really more of just a Q&A. I just want to kind of get people's feelings, to answer their questions about things. I know people are in a frenzy right now. You have people on both sides kind of like, I don't know, acting a fool, man. It's funny because the people that are coming out of the woodwork saying, I knew this was coming, they're the same people that were in comment sections or making YouTube videos literally 9 months ago saying the same things. And the funny part is, when you go back and look at what things cost 9 months ago compared to now, you're still up so many exponential points on your money that being down 10 or 20% from the all-time highs barely affects you. And it's not really an I told you so when you're still up over 100% for the year. Not just that, crypto's down. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, you name it, are all down anywhere from 15 to almost 30%, I believe, for the week. Month, we'll say month. And for the year, most all of those are down. I think XRP is technically still up, but it's only because they had that massive run up at the beginning of or the end of the year before. So when you look at the percentage points, all of the major cryptos are up for the year. Pokemon still beats them. When you look at the percentage points, all the major cryptocurrencies are down for the last month. Pokemon is down less if you're in sealed product. When you look at the major stocks on the Wall Street, look at the FANG stocks, right? The Facebook, which is now Meta, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Google's still up. Google's doing good. Everything else, it's all down. It's all down. And when you look at what they're up for the year, if you go look at all the stocks, what they're at for the year, Pokemon boxes are still up more. And I don't think a lot of people are truly like looking at that and like calming themselves with the data, because they're too worried about getting on their collector app and seeing it down a few $100 or a few $1,000s and losing their freaking minds. Guys, let me explain something to you, okay? Really hear me on this. If you have an asset, let's call it this time Pokemon booster boxes, and this asset goes up 1, 2, even 300% for a year, and then you have other assets, let's call them stocks or cryptocurrencies, and they go up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, even 80% for the year. And then a downturn comes and all of the stocks and cryptocurrencies come down 10 to 20%, even up to 30%. Look at Ethereum, like 28% down. Wouldn't that mean the assets that went up hundreds of percent be forced to have a greater correction? So then tell me why Pokemon is having a lesser correction than stocks and cryptocurrencies. What sense does that make? Other than they're still the superior investment. They go up more in boom times. They come down less when things are deflating. These are the conversations that I don't think people have with themselves in their head. I don't think that people like ever come to grips with this fact. They just get really emotional. They see red, they see things down, and they lose their freaking mind over it. And their knee-jerk reaction is, I gotta dump, I gotta sell it. And now what you're seeing is a lot of those boxes are being eaten up very quickly. All the cases are not really coming down much. And now you're seeing reversals Scarlet Violet base set. It's running back to its all-time highs. It's back in the high 230s. The all-time highs was 240s. Look at Temporal Forces, $280 a box. Near its all-time high. Stellar Crown's not too worried. It's near its all-time high. Paldea Eval stopped the bleeding, hanging out now at 400, actually rising again. Everyone's buying people are doing what you do when things downturn. They're buying the dip. Now, the brand new block, right? Phantasmal Flames. I know, guys. I know. I've been around the hobby 10 years. I know how this works, right? A new set is supposed to release, and then we're all supposed to panic and be like, oh my God, I've never seen a box and singles fall after release. It only happened every other time with every other set in the history of the hobby. Here's my big shocked face. And guess what? When the second wave of Phantasmal hits, guess what's going to happen? All your favorite YouTubers are going to say, look at Phantasmal Flames. The price is crashing. It is now $220, $230 a box because we just got the second wave of product. And here will be my surprise face. Guys, stop being manipulated into the drama cycle. New sets that are still in the 200s a booster box is an extremely strong market. Extremely strong. We can't even consider it being anywhere near a weak market until we start seeing MSRP booster boxes on the secondary market. That's the only time I'll even consider things are not still hot. But what the problem is, I talked about this before, every time a box comes out and hits a new price point, people start to measure that as the benchmark. So a box comes out at 200, that's the benchmark. And the next one's got to be 220 or it's crashing. The next box has to be 250 or it's crashing. Alex, this box has to be $300 or things are weak. Alex, there it is. Phantasmal Flames, 270 after release. Told you, everything's crashing. $161 is MSRP. Phantasmal Flames was 270. We're crashing. We're crashing, guys. Charizards in the set are crashing down in the 4s and 600s. Crashing. Everyone wants to know why I remain calm when all this stuff happens, right? Alex, aren't you worried? You were wrong. I was wrong about what? Wrong that there would never be a downturn. There would never be corrections at all over the years I'm going to invest in these products. Well, then how would you ever dollar cost average? How do you dollar cost average if nothing ever corrects? Wouldn't that mean I would never pick up more positions? Wouldn't that mean my original position sizes would be the only positions I ever have? No, these are the times when you dollar cost average in the things you want. And maybe if you want to sell things that you no longer believe in just because you no longer see the market the same way. Maybe people are dumping some PC ETBs because they no longer believe in them the same. Maybe people are dumping some of the weaker sets like, I don't know, battle styles because they no longer believe in it the same way as they did before. Maybe people are starting to pick up things that are maybe overcorrected, like Evolving Skies, like Lost Origin, but it's a market, guys. When you look at the sales volume, the market is still marketing. There are buyers, but people see their collector apps go down. They see themselves in the red and they panic and they worry and they have absolutely no vision. And unfortunately, those are the same people that will likely come back in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they'll want to buy back in and they'll pay, 2-3x for the items that they once owned. And it's sad. That's where we are, guys. So let's get some Q&A. Anyone wants to ask some questions, wants anything discussed, leave in the comments, guys. That's what I'm here for today. Let me know what you guys want discussed. I'm not here to talk about any drama, any other pokey tubers. I'm not here to shill anything. I'm not here to try and tell you to buy. I'm just here to literally try to talk some sense into this nonsensical hobby. So what do you guys want to talk about? How is everyone doing today? Rudy is loving life right now. Absolutely. Yeah, this is what Rudy wanted. Rudy made multiple videos talking about the market collapse, things slowing down. He plays this market like a fiddle, like an absolute fiddle. He knows exactly what he's doing, whether he acts like he doesn't or not. He comes out, makes multiple videos saying everything's terrible. It's going to slow down. It's going to crash. Of course, with his massive following, people do, panic and then he eats it right up, buys into it all because he knows exactly what the market's going to do in the years to come, and he laughs all the way to the bank. So yes, Rudy is loving life, and he is just playing his fiddle as everyone falls right in line. It's funny to watch. It's comical. I like it. It's sickening when people are saying it's a collapse. Less than a year ago, I got 14 Crown Zenith packs for $40 whenever I wanted. Now it dips to what, 180 for 14 of them, and it's an issue. Yep, it's an issue because it was once higher than it is right now. Remember that. It's an issue. Oh, man, let's see. Crypto isn't just down. It's legit crashing off of its highs. Okay. I know we like to use the word crash. I'm not even a big crypto guy, but I'm not going to sit here and act like crypto and stocks are crashing. But yeah, if you see it that way, I think everything's taking a very much needed correction. That's what I would say. But hey, I mean, if you look at the crypto charts, it literally tested, again, technical analysis. I'm a technical analysis guy, right? It literally tested the 110 to 120 mark 3 times. 3 times. We can pull it up. Here, let's pull up. Let's go ahead and pull up the old Bitcoin chart, and we'll see what we're all looking at here. How's that sound? How's that sound? All right. So, see this? It ran up here, tested the 110s, 120s, fell back down. Retested it, broke into the 120s, fell back down, tested it a 3rd time, and could not break out of the 120s. And so, yes, it's going to fall down until it reaches a support. And so we're looking back. You could say it's going to reach a support here in the 80s. So this could be the support it finds. It looks like it's holding up relatively strong there. If it doesn't, for some reason, yeah, we could be in some trouble. But this looks like a normal correction to me. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, though. But it seems like normal ebbs and flows of the market. Tried to break out 3 different times. It couldn't. It fell down. Nothing more to it, really. And again, I don't own crypto. So I have no reason to shill Bitcoin. It's better for me if it goes lower because I can buy it for cheaper if I want to invest in it. But I'm just letting you know what I see. My thoughts on Ascended Heroes having 4 waves? Stop it. Is that real? Is that actually real? Do you think production has been delayed because of prismatic overprinting? Well, yeah, Pokemon's obsessed. Like, they are obsessed with prismatic. When prismatic finally stops getting printed, you are going to see the greatest reversal in the history of Pokemon. You might see those packs go to $20. Like, the fact that prismatic is still $9 a pack and they just print infinite products of it and it still hasn't crashed it. They could only print that product for so long till they have to start printing other things. And yeah, I mean, it's in 2 years, everyone here is going to be wishing they own prismatic. But again, for the next year and a half, while it's still in print, everyone's going to be like, oh, I don't know, it's slow. They keep printing it. It's overprinted. It's not going to go up. I don't like the set. The pull rates suck, all this stuff. We'll have the same conversation in 2 years. People will have a very different mindset, just like Crown Zenith, just like Hidden Fates, just like, Shining Legends, just like Generations. The list goes on and on. Okay. I did not know that. If it has 4 waves, that is some crazy. I don't even know how they could be that far behind. That's wild. If you add to your collection, it can never collapse. All right. I'm getting nostalgia from COVID when you had to tell people to chill out too. Happens over and over again. It does. It's, I got asked this question by, someone in the comment sections, and they said, Alex, if you're so smart about markets, why are you in the TCG world and not in the stock market or the crypto world or currency trading worlds and all that? And it's very simple. Why would I go compete against all of the smartest, most intelligent people in the world, the trading algorithms, the largest amount of money and all the sharks, when I can go invest in the easiest freaking place in the world, which is the TCG hobbies? It doesn't make any sense. It's too easy. I mean, you're competing against just like children, right? And I don't mean like actual kids trying to get their packs. I mean people who are grown adults but have the mindset of someone that's 6 years old and the emotional intelligence of a 2-year-old. And it's just so dang easy. Why would you ever go anywhere else? It doesn't make any sense. People are selling stuff to buy things for the holidays. Come February, people are going to want those items back and the price should go back up. Dude, it's like clockwork. It's like clockwork. 100%. Institutional money is moving to tangible assets like gold and silver, less institutional money in Pokemon, thus less of a fall off. Now that's an actual legitimate take as to one of the reasons that could be happening. For sure. See, I like that. Finally, someone with like a logical take as to why things could be happening the way they are. I like that. Do I think Destin Rivals PC ETB below 290? I really don't follow the PC ETB markets close enough. I couldn't tell you, man. PC ETBs, if again, I've said it from the beginning, if you get an MSRP, it's a home run, grand slam, automatic. If you can buy in at $100 to $200, still a good play. Once ETBs start to cost $300, $400, $500, I just think there's so many other better plays out there for that price, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, Surging Sparks, absolute home run right now. 100% agree. It's getting way too beat up. People are overestimating the supply that come out in the vending machines. The reason so many boxes hit the market because the people who buy the vending machine products are just quick flippers. I don't think anyone who's investing long-term is letting those things go, and I think the prices are going to correct very quickly. It's all the guys in Modern getting killed. So I have 100% Modern, and I am not getting killed in the slightest. I would put my portfolio up against anyone out there. Their stocks, their crypto, their real estate, their, whatever it is you have. I'm very, very satisfied with my my year gains, my 5-year gains, my 10-year gains in Modern Pokemon. I don't know when Wave 2 gets released. I don't know if it's confirmed anytime yet. In Japan, Inferno X went to 15,000 yen right after release. Now it just started dropping to 13,000. Crazy slow decrease for the set. Yeah, I agree. It ran up. It was actually selling for more after release than it was pre-release. And then, yeah, man, it's much stronger. But Glory of Team Rocket was pretty strong too. And so it's much more like Glory, much less like Black Bolt White Flare or Mega. Going to be a lot of people in their feelings hurt. Corrections are healthy. If there isn't product on shelves, then we good. Let the paper hands panic sell. I even think there'll be products on shelves. And I don't even think that's a bad thing. That's how insane I am. Because here's the thing. Products on shelves, you have to remember, is, yes, it's MSRP, right? But if there's not enough margin for people to go scalp, then they won't buy it, right? It'll just regular people will be able to buy it again. And so you could actually still have products over MSRP, but over MSRP by just enough to where it's not profitable, right? Packs selling for like $5.50 to $6, boxes selling for like $180 to $200. Like, scalpers are just not going to deal with it because there's not enough money to be made after fees, shipping, after doing all the trouble. And so even products on the shelves isn't like the worst thing in the world, honestly. In your opinion, would it be a good idea to sell my 28 boxes of PF I got at retail price and put that money into better, older, like Surging Sparks, Paldea, or Prismatic ETBs? It's all time frame. If you're asking me for the next like month, or sorry, for the next like 6 months, probably, right? The second wave is probably going to, drop it to where you can get it at a cheaper price. If you're asking me for like long term, I have no clue. Paldean Fates, or Paldean Fates, what is it even? Phantasmal Flames. Jeez, I'm worn out, guys. It's been a long week. Phantasmal Flames could, outdo all of those. It's impossible to tell. Like, time frames are a thing. How much cost are you eating, shipping and paying fees to transfer into something else? Is that worth it? There's a lot of things that have to do with that. So I'm not a fan of the whole flip game, guys, right? If you're running a business, that's one thing. If you're trying to like passively invest and you have a job and this is like your side thing, I'm not a fan of like trying to flip your investments. Like I don't go in my 401k and try to like buy and sell things, right? Like, so I don't agree with like investing and then like selling investments by other investments, selling those investments by other investments. I believe in just holding long term. If things drop, you can dollar cost average in, get a lower cost basis, continue to hold long term, things like that. You know, if it comes time where you want to divest from something, that's one thing. But just trying to like play the swings in the market. I mean, if you want to run a resale business, that's one thing. But I'm not much for that when it comes to like long term investments. Yeah, I agree, man. Some people just need to turn off the collector app. I mean, or at least don't look at that screen. Like, don't look at the screen every time. Just go and enter your products or whatever. Man, like people are they're losing their minds over a few $1,000s. Yeah, or do that, or put it out to the 6-month year graph. You'll be just fine. I promise. That'll ease your worries. I honestly, I don't even think Rudy's mad about the Spider-Man collapse. Rudy was much more mad about not being able to get pallets and pallets worth of product from his distributors. And so it's much, put it this way, it's much better for Rudy if he can continue to sell to all of his Patreons as much as they want and make a smaller margin than to make more margins, but have everyone upset with him only being able to sell to a small amount because he's not getting enough product. And so I don't know if he's mad about the market coming down because he's going to do so much better business wise, getting more product and moving more of it. So I don't know. Rudy's got a long-term mindset. I don't know how much short-term fluctuations in prices affect him. Are we allowed to ask about the probe steam fiasco? Will Snipe get straightened out? Or if it does, will people even use it? I mean, guys, here, I'll give you my personal opinion on it. I think you're experiencing what happens when greed gets the best of people. I mean, why? Why leave eBay and do all this nonsense? Why? Because you're getting greedy? Because someone told you can make an extra couple percent if you left eBay, right? Maybe someone said, oh, maybe you can start your own site and get a buyout like PWCC did with Fanatics. Like, you know, someone got in his ear. Maybe he got in his own ear. I don't know. But it's just you're seeing what happens when greed gets the best of people. They had a great thing going on eBay. We're making money hand over fist, $160 million in sales a year, almost $1 billion on the platform. It's crazy to me that they even tried to leave eBay with what they had worked out there. But will it get straightened out? Maybe. Will they go back to eBay? Maybe. I really don't know. It's a disaster, man. In my opinion, it's just a disaster. Here's the other thing. People don't think about this. All right. Let me do some math for everybody. All right. Let me explain to you how stupid a decision this was already. So if you're doing $160 million a year in sales divided by 365, you're doing 438,000 a day in sales. Every day that site is down, they're missing out on 438,000 in sales. Not to mention, it may be even more because more people are wanting to sell right now because everyone's in panic, market's crashing, all that. So they may be missing out on like $500,000 in sales a day. So just think, every day this site is down, is the extra money they might be making from the website really going to make up for all these down days this year? They'd have been better just staying on eBay and not losing 400 grand a day in sales. Insanity, man. It's greed. Just pure greed. If you would have around 10K US dollars, how would you diversify an investment fund? Focus mostly on booster boxes? Yeah, I would. I mean, you're talking about Pokemon investment fund? I mean, again, not investment advice, not investment advisor. I can't give investment advice. But if you're asking me if you were to collect or invest in Pokemon cards, which are extremely risky alternative asset, I stick with booster boxes. Yes. Throughout 2026, the Feds will reduce interest rates, which will stimulate the market and people will be more confident to spend. Money is tight, but lowering the rate will help. There's a lot of things, right? Yeah, that's one of the things. If the stimulus checks actually come, that's the thing that could happen. Whatever they're going to try to do with these mortgages, they're going to try to do these, 40, 50-year loans. If they're going to try to do these, what do they call them? where you take the mortgage with you or whatever. It's I forget what the term they're using. They're trying a bunch of different things to figure things out, though. All kind of different tax strategies they're talking about. I don't know, but if they ever get things figured out and people get some money in their pockets, or they can open up more capital, it's definitely gonna stimulate the economy, right? Which is what it's meant to do. But yeah, man, I think there's a lot of things that we still have to look forward to, that they still have tricks up their sleeve for 2026. I've always said crypto is bubble money. I'm old and I'm never gonna get on board. Good luck for those who do. Terry, I like it. I like the honesty. Hello, my friend. What's your stance on Sun and Moon base set? I have a chance to get a booster box on about 650. My stance on Sun and Moon and XY at this point is probably going to be diminishing returns. I don't necessarily think any of that stuff is going to like crash or, but I think it's going to resemble much more of mid-era vintage than it is modern going forward, just because it's out of sight, out of mind. Sets like that are just, they don't have any cards in there that are sought after, that people are going to chase and really open. It's going to be more long-term, like collectors and long-term investors that, see long-term growth or just think the scarcity is going to take over. And I just think there's going to be a lot less action on a lot of those eras than there is Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet going forward. And so I think the returns are going to be probably less, but again, if you can get the right deals, and the thing about Pokemon that's not different from the stock market or crypto is you have the opportunity to be able to buy under market price. Whereas stocks and crypto, you're buying at market price. So the minute it ticks down, you're down on your money. Whereas if you can get really good deals on things in Pokemon, you can start so far ahead that you're not worried about small fluctuations and you could actually do well on that stuff. So yeah, if that's something you want, man, go for it. It's true. Only 2-pack and 3-pack on initial release. ETB 1 month after. That new set is going to be a disaster. Oh, man. Pokemon, dude. What are you doing? What are you guys doing? It's funny. I've been hearing liquidity is drying up, and yet I've never seen more liquidity in my local market than the last 2 months. Yeah, again, it depends on who you're listening to. You got to understand, people who make their primary money in the hobby on content are going to say whatever they need to say on content, right? They're going to make the thumbnails, they're going to make the titles, which again, I do the same thing. I'm in the content game. It's not my primary income, but it is part of my income. And so you're going to make the thumbnails, you're going to make the titles. I try to talk about things that I think are going to be helpful, but news channels, drama channels, they're going to talk about things that are going to get people riled up, draw engagement, draw views, all those good things. And so the liquidity drying up, it's just, if people in comments wanting to, just say things to, rile people up, scare them, whatever it may be. But, there's literally buyers on the market, and there's 80% anywhere you look. I mean, I can find you multiple buyers on the market right now paying 80% for pretty much any of your sealed products, right? Well, any good ones, right? PCTBs, booster boxes, cases, ETB cases, things like that. People are buying them. Now, what a lot of those people come to find out, which I've been preaching for years, is if you have these random stupid collection boxes, these tins, these mini tins, these 3-pack blisters, all this nonsense items, you're not going to get top dollar. They are going to be illiquid. If you got booster boxes, you're not illiquid. You can throw them at any consignment service. You can run auctions yourself. You can lowest list on eBay TCG Player. They're moving. Go look at the sales data. The sales data doesn't lie. And so these are the times when everything I preached in the past, they start to come to pass. But see, all the people pushing all the stuff like, oh no, it's okay. You can buy collection boxes. You can buy, tins. You can buy this. These are the times when you realize all those people did not have your best interest in mind. Those people look like geniuses when the market's strong and you can move anything. But when the markets all contract, you start to realize, oh, maybe Alex did have our best interest in mind. Maybe he wasn't lying to us. It isn't as good of an idea to have all this nonsense items because we're going to get lower price per dollar. And so, I mean, depending on what you have, You may be a little illiquid if you're sitting on a bunch of CGC or tag slabs, maybe. If you got PSA 10s, you're not illiquid, right? I mean, PSA's buying them, GameStop's buying, everyone's buying PSA slabs. So those aren't illiquid. So yeah, I don't know where the illiquidity stuff comes from. It's kind of goofy. I have never had a problem selling anything. I don't know. I sell millions of dollars in this hobby per year now. So I don't know. Maybe I'm out of the loop. Do I feel Destined Rivals, one of the most expensive booster boxes in the entire era, is slept on? Dude, I don't think a $400 box can be considered slept on. I think everyone knows. That's why it's priced where it is. It's not 4 waves. It's just 4 different dates. Set is releasing different product they've done in mini sets. Yeah, that's a terrible idea. Yeah, it's going to be a disaster. That's just as bad as 4 waves, in my opinion. That's disastrous. Tax season is going to make Pokemon a killing. No tax on overtime. No tax on tips. Yes, sir. Metals down, Bitcoin down, stocks down, collectibles, including Pokemon, are down and will go down more. Oh, man. Alex, hopefully you're dead. And that's not true. That's actually not true. Metals aren't down, right? Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, I don't think metals are down, actually. So let's see. Oh, sorry. So for the 30 days, 1.67%, but 30 days for silver is actually up. So gold's a little down, silver's up. For the last 6 months, they're all extremely up still. And you can see the charts, they're both near their all-time highs. I mean, you can say they're off their highs, but barely. And a lot of Pokemon boxes I haven't really corrected too much. I mean, Temporal Forces, guys, is still like near all-time highs. Literally near all-time highs. So I don't know. Everything, again, like, I think people are being really hyperbolic with this stuff. Would I buy Destined Rivals loose packs at $650? I mean, it all depends on what you're trying to do with them, right? Depending on what your use is for them, it could be. I've been following for a while, spreading the word. I've helped a lot of people grow their portfolio with what I've learned from you. Thanks. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Paying it forward. I love it. Luke, congrats to you, man, and congrats to doing that. Are stocks within 2% of their all-time highs? No. So indexes are. Here, we'll pull up those too. So in the indexes are doing pretty well. The stocks are, a lot of stocks are not, right? Like here, we'll pull some up, right? So like Meta, right? In the last month, it's down 20%. So 20% decrease on Meta, right? We can look at like Netflix, right? Netflix in the last month. Last month, Netflix is down 16%, right? Even like Amazon, like it doesn't look as bad because it didn't run till later in the month. So it says it's basically flat, but from its high back here mid-month, it was actually 253. So it's also down over 10%. So no, a lot of the major stocks are down 10 to 20%. Not 20, 10 to 15% as well. The indexes though are relatively yeah, they're only down like a few percent, maybe 5 at the most, whatever. White Flare ETB $80. It's not bad. I mean, they're still brand new sets, and you know, at that price point, is there other things you could buy? Maybe. It's not terrible, but it's not like a screaming play, you know. Right now, would you invest in the stock market or sealed product? I mean, me myself. So, like I said, I don't have stock options. I don't have ins with a company. I don't have any options to buy crypto lower than market, but I do have the ability to buy out collections at percentages of market. And so if I'm able to get in an investment that has historically so far outperformed, those investments, and I'm able to buy that investment at a much lower percentage of market than what market price is, it makes more sense for me to continue to buy sealed product. That's why I continue to do that. For you, it may not. Does that make sense? So yes, for me, I am. I would be in sealed product for me myself more than stocks, but that's me. Question: is the pokey market collapsing? Answer: yes. Why are people panicking when these sets are just a couple years old? You know what? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. Here's the problem. I don't really know if people are panicking. I know that content creators are taking advantage of, the thing they've been waiting for a year now, of things finally, correcting a little bit. And so they're making content on it. And then people in comment sections are obviously, saying stuff, but I don't really know if people are panicking. Like I said, I was just at Collecticon and nobody had any worries at all. Vendors weren't worried. Customers weren't worried. Like my own business, like my streams and things, they're slower than they were in like February, April, May, when things were really booming, but they're still like as good or sometimes better than what they were in like summer when things kind of slowed down. So like sales aren't collapsing or anything like that. Views, my channel, it's up and down, but the views are relatively the same. They're a little lower than they were again when things were really in the heyday. And I look at others, like from what I can tell, everything's just down a little bit. Views are down a little bit, business is down a little bit, market's down a little bit. Nothing seems crazy to me, like crashing or anything. But again, I look at things very like pragmatically. I don't get emotional about stuff, so maybe other people that are emotional see it differently. Maybe people that are on credit, people that are not well capitalized, maybe they don't have, other good sources of income. This was like a big income source for them, or they need things to go up in a certain amount of time to flip them. Those people may be panicking. They may be panicking. For me though, all those things don't affect me, right? So I guess it depends on how you're set up. That would be my answer. Do I think sealed product will rise again after the holiday period? I don't know, man. I can't time the market. Do I think everything on the market right now, booster box wise, will be more in 3 years? I do. Do I know if it'll be more in 6 months? No. I really don't. Are you buying 151 from the people scalping the Sam's Club boxes? $10 per pack is in bulk is a great opportunity to grow a 151 position. I buy from everybody. If they get their packs wherever they get their packs, that's on them. If they offer me their products for a price that I think is worth it, I will buy product from them. Do I go to Sam's Club, Costco, Walmart, Target, anywhere else? Do I log on Pokemon Center? I personally do not. I haven't bought from a retail source since Surging Sparks. And so, but yeah, I definitely buy from the secondary market. 100%. Well, don't take it that far. Collector app supports this channel. We're not going to say uninstall Collector app. Just stop letting it get you so emotional. Nobody knows what might have been going on behind the scenes with Probstein and eBay. Maybe they were playing games with him and he said, F, I'll just compete with you. Can never leave out a man's ego. Yeah, you're true. It's true. No one really knows. Again, again, I said it was my opinion. My opinion, it seems like greed was getting to people. You know, you can only imagine what a percentages on 160 million in sales is. I know myself, maybe I'm just not ambitious enough in life. Is if I was making a certain percentage of 160 million each year, I think I'd be okay. And I would just, allow eBay to have their piece of the pie too. But hey, maybe there was something more going on. I don't know. Where do you store Pokemon booster boxes? I store a plastic bin filled with silica gel packets around 20 to 30 Celsius, 50 to 55% humidity. You think this is good? Well, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't do anything special. Mine are plopped right on a hardwood shelf. Um, as long as the humidity's down and it stays relatively the same temperature, climate controlled, in a good temperature range, you'll be fine. I don't think you need to do anything too crazy with them. But I think you probably went above and beyond. I think you'll be just fine. It seems like we sparked a lot of conversation about the 50-year home loans. Yeah, guys, I'm not I'm not saying anything like that's going to happen. It's just they're talking about ways to figure the housing situation out. So who knows what's going to happen with that. Matthew, what's up, dude? Just did my first PSA sub with them offering to buy my slabs. Couldn't have been easier. Clicked accept, sold 80 to 85% of market value. Is this a game changer? Absolutely, it's a game changer. That's what I've been saying for years. This hobby has been operating so inefficient for so many years with this whole, the kind of like the LGS model. And the big company with large money, right? Private equity, like capital, it's all moving in to make this hobby more professional, right? To establish more of a kind of, I don't know, more of a, trying to figure out the right word to describe it. But I guess it's just more of just a better system. Things are going to move faster and easier. There's going to be more liquidity quicker. People are going to get product to them quicker. With the GameStop power packs and Fanatics packs as well. That's just a whole nother layer to it. Instead of, going to Walmart and buying, these mystery boxes or things, you're just gonna be able to click, from the comfort of your own home, click button, right? It's the same. Everything just kind of gets more optimized over time. And I think that's all we're seeing. We're just in an era of market optimization, whereas people with money are finally moving in and they're doing it, you could say the right way, the wrong way, whatever you could say, but it's definitely going to continue to change things. In my opinion, again, I'm a really bad person to ask my opinion because I'm a businessman, right? So like, I like all these things. I want more liquidity. I want more optimization. I want clean, quick transactions, right? Whereas, kind of like the hardcore hobbyists, they're not going to like it. They want things to be more like, to like each smaller card shop and everyone kind of be independent and like do their own things and not be as much set up like a business and more of a hobby. And so it's just what school of thought you're on. But I'm happy it's finally happening. How much do I think each Scarlet Violet box will be in 5 years? No idea. No idea. More. Just sold 50 slabs. I wasn't interested in it. 85% cash. No problem yesterday. Nope. No problem at all. You can move them like that. No liquidity, though. Remember that. No liquidity. Just can't sell them. Thoughts on product availability for the average person walking into a retailer in 3 to 6 months? I think you'll start to see product. I really do. Once the margins start to disappear, I think a lot more. I know people that have bots. I know people that do scalp, you could say, right? I know people are starting to already not take all of the product their bots get them. I know people that are now canceling their botted orders because they're getting too much. You know, things like Charizard UPCs, things like prismatic collections, things like other things and of those nature. Paladin Fates collections, and that's already a sign when bots and scalpers can no longer take it all because they either can't move it fast enough or can't get the prices they want. It doesn't make sense for them. They will be on the shelves. So yeah, I think we are getting close to that time. Yes, I am going to start selling sealed in the website Monday. So I'll make an announcement Monday on a video. But yeah, we are going to have sealed in the website. I talked about another video, but if you guys don't know, I've always bought out collections. What I always do with my collections is I use what I can for my breaks. I take what I want that I really wanted, put away for long term, put that on the shelves long term, and then I'm always left with other things that it may just be more than I want to put away. I can't really use them for brace because it's like either ancillary items or it's booster box cases or things that don't make sense to break down, but I also don't want to keep anymore. I already have enough, and so I would always send those to Probstein. Well, now that Probstein is no longer my source of liquidity to continue to churn and burn these collection buys, I haven't been buying as many collections, and I haven't had a way to move the product as quick as I want. And so, yeah, I'm probably going to start selling this product on my site. I'll have the first listings up on Monday, and then it'll just kind of be sporadic, guys. It's not like a full-on store. I don't have like distribution, so it's not going to be like I always have everything in stock. It'll just kind of be what comes in, right? What's cycling in that week on collection buys or whatever. It'll always pay to check back. There'll always be different items available. Yeah, so I'm just going to try to use that for the time being and try to market and build up my own site instead of use consignment services. We'll see how it goes. Surging is a great set, but there's heaps of supply. One guy bought 64 bundles. Hey, man, eat my shorts. Look, 64 bundles is not that much. I mean, it may sound like a lot, right? I mean, what is 64 times 6? So 64 bundles times 6 is 384 packs. So to put this in terms you might understand, we sold just shy of 500 packs of Phantasmal Flames last night alone on stream. One night for one streamer. And so when you start understanding how much of this product is ripped, like 384 packs of Surging Sparks, I mean, at the rate it still sells today, even on my streams, I don't know, it might be a couple weeks worth of packs. Like, it's just, this stuff doesn't last as long as you think. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. He says, yeah, the indexes are what matters. Yeah, but okay, all right, let me explain this to you, Tallcat. All right, here's what you have to understand. Share the screen. See, people want to use the indexes when things fall, but you have to compare apples to apples. If you're going to use the indexes when things fall, you have to also use the indexes on the rises. Meaning, if you're going to say, well, Alex, in the last month, the indexes are only down 2%, right? But for the year, it's only up 11. So if we just hop over, pick your poison. What set do you want? Let's pick SV base. It's a nothing set, right? Let's pick that one. It can't be doing that well, right? SV base for the year, right? SV base 112 over double. Over double, right? Let's go take some of these massive correcting boxes. Let's go to Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies having a big correction, right? Down to 2,100. But a year ago, it was 8. And so, yeah, of course the indexes are correcting less because you didn't make any freaking money the whole year on them. If it never goes up, of course it's not going to go down very much. I mean, 11% when everything in Pokemon is up hundreds of percent, and then you're worried about, well, it's only down 2%, but Pokemon's down 20 because you made 200. Guys, come on. Please. Please. Think before you comment. Do you think there should be a premium for CGC perfect compared to pristine? Probably. Probably, but you're getting into the weeds. You're getting into really, focused collectors that really care. And so probably, but the market for it is going to be so slim. Right now, would you focus more on prismatic at market or current sets at MSRP? I would be very focused on prismatic as we head into the holiday seasons. As especially these drops come of these prismatic, what do they call the figure collections with the Umbreon and stuff? See what that does to the market. Anytime you see things correct for prismatic products, bundles, packs, all that, I think they're always good pickups. I think it's always good to average in. Put it this way, guys. In my opinion, Evolutions is the only product. I don't even think Crown Zenith was as bad. Evolutions is the only real product I can think of. Hidden Fates was not as bad. Crown Zenith, I don't even think was as bad as Prismatic Evolutions. They are trying everything in their power to crush that set. The packs are still $9 market price. All the items are still holding up. They did that to Evolutions, and Evolutions took a while to recover and actually rise. They printed Evolutions like 5 times. The fact that they still can't get Prismatic under control with this many waves, do you have any idea what's going to happen when we go like 3-6 months without a Prismatic print? It is going to get ugly. You are going to see people start to panic when they start seeing things go to $10, $11, $12 a pack, and no more is coming. So, yes, you are going to want, in my opinion, I'm going to want to have Prismatic for when those days come, because they will come. It's only plentiful till it's not. You saw that with Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith's everywhere. ETBs are 40. You can get $2 packs in these Sea and Sky boxes. It's going to be everywhere, Alex. Every Costco has pallets of them. And then all of a sudden it went from $4 to $15 a pack in a matter of months when it went out of print. So be careful with Prismatic waiting too long. That's all I'm saying. Hawk Lugia said 68 Phantasmal UPCs. That's a Charizard one, right? Didn't sell out today yet. They said they got 100 Team Rocket UPCs. People are not loving the 199 price point. Well, no, because they can't flip them. They can't flip them. Once the people that just buy with the sole purpose of flipping lose their margin, they're not going to buy. And so then it's just regular customers or actual investors buying the stuff. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. Eventually you're going to have stuff on the shelves. We're getting to that point. When the margins disappear, the scalpers and flippers stop buying. Alex, are you going to start your own consignment on your website? Absolutely not. No, I don't want to be opened up to all that liability. I don't think I could offer a competitive percentage to other consignment services to make it worth my time. It's not something that I'm interested in. What's the best prismatic product to invest in? It just depends on what price point you can get each one for. At this point, there's no best one because everything's already different prices. So I would probably say at the current price, the bundles may have the best price per pack. Maybe the ETBs can correct down. It's hard to tell. It's always changing depending on the price per pack, which makes more sense in my opinion. Alex, I'm trying to buy XY cards for my personal collection. Do you think buying XY stuff now is a good idea? I can only see prices going up. Yeah, like I said, I think XY and Sun and Moon, I don't think you're going to see like massive crashes, but I also think it's going to be kind of diminishing returns going forward as they get more and further removed from the limelight, as the prices get higher and higher and price out regular people. I just think they get more and more like it kind of turns into more of a stable play and less of kind of a dramatic exponential growth play. Which SV booster boxes are the safest from a reprint? Base, Paldea, Obsidian, Paradox. They go out of print in April, out of rotation. Very unlikely we're going to see reprints on those booster boxes. And even if somehow there is, very unlikely it's going to be enough to make a difference. And once they do go out of print, even if there is a reprint, they're going to get eaten up so quick. People are going to say, well, this was obviously the very absolute last reprint there could be, because now they're out of print. So those four are by far the safest right now. By far. When you buy packs, do have them just send them loose and out of their packaging? Oh, like when yeah, it doesn't matter. However people want to send them, that's best for them to ship. Can I start shill bidding pro scene and print money? Oh man, no comment. I don't know. I don't know how that stuff's going down. I don't want to get charged with any type of lawsuit. Everything, I always talk about everything as it's all rumors. I know nothing of any fact of what's going on in Probstein. Where do I see promos for SV going next year? Specific ETB ones like the Charmander. Selva, I am not an ultra bull on the PC ETB and PC ETB promos. It just seems so close to the staff promo pre-release era of XY Sun and Moon that I went through, that most of those never corrected or never came back, and they all kind of found trading ranges, and they've just been trading in those ranges for years. I just think some of this stuff got to heights it shouldn't have gotten to in years, and a lot of these are probably going to just trade in a range for time being. If in my opinion, I don't see any more intense growth coming in the near future. That's just my opinion, though. I think they've all got to prices they probably shouldn't have seen for years. It's Friday. We're talking about Pokemon. You know it. That's how you know it's a good day. That is how you know it's a great day. $151 in prismatic bundles. Love them both. Love them both. 151 is more expensive, but it goes out of print in a few months. Prismatic's cheaper, but you gotta kind of fade another year and a half till it goes out of print in 2027. So pick your poison. Am I gonna have a prismatic poster collection sale? Who knows? Maybe one day, right? I thought you have distro. I got distro right in the middle of the boom. So I was able to build absolutely zero allocations. And, I get the scraps. So I get like one box, one ETB, one bundle for my allocations, like unit, not case. So I don't, it's basically like I don't have distro. It doesn't play into my business at all. Maybe one day I'll be able to build some allocations when everyone else panics and doesn't order anymore, and I can order some. That's my plan, at least. Here's my thing. I'm not in a rush. I think a lot of people are in a rush. Everyone's always in a rush for everything. I'm not in a rush. I have patience. Like I've seen so many people complain about distros on YouTube, like complain about their allocations. It's not fair. They should get more. I never complained once. And I tell my rep that all the time. He's a great dude. I'm like, dude, I get it. And he's even told me before, he's like, oh man, it's good to hear. You wouldn't believe some of the arguments I get in with people and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, I believe it. It's just, people are idiots. Everyone's entitled, thinks they deserve everything. I don't deserve anything. Why do I deserve distribution? I haven't bought from distributors when nobody else wanted the stuff and kept their product moving when they were trying to get rid of it, right? I didn't take nonsense items from them when no one else would take them. I didn't, build years and years of track record buying from them, spending hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars with them. What do I deserve? I don't deserve anything. I take whatever I can get and I say thank you. And if I'm ever offered more, I'll say thank you for that. Same thing with investing, right? I'm not worried about ups and downs. I'm worried about where the future's going. I'm worried about setting myself up for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I'm not worried about what happens tomorrow, next month, next year. Like, I don't care about all these things a lot of people care about. And so like, I just think people need to practice patience with everything. And honestly, you'll probably live longer. You'll probably literally live longer by not stressing yourself out and getting so amped up every second of every day about every little thing. It's going to be okay. Just let the markets market, let the world. You're going to be okay. Don't worry about tomorrow. Today's got all the worries you need. Oh, you're agreeing with me. I was saying Pokemon isn't crashing. Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. I'm talking about all the panic sellers because a few stocks are down big and yet indexes are barely down, which means other stocks are. Gotcha. Got you. Makes a lot more sense. The point you to Meta, etc., but don't mention the stocks that are up in the next. Got you. Okay. Makes sense. No worries, brother. My thoughts on vintage slabs as investments from investment standpoint doesn't seem to be affected up or down as much by modern. Yeah, again, I think it's just going to be diminishing returns on vintage. I mean, I think it's going to have kind of holding patterns where it kind of trades in a range for long periods of time. When the modern market booms, the vintage market will probably boom as well. But as we've seen, the modern market overall has boomed stronger than the vintage market. Now, everyone into vintage always says, well, that's because that's all manipulated. And the vintage market is more true because they have this belief that, only true collectors and investors should want older stuff. I don't buy into that nonsense. I just think that the most intense growth is going to happen with the growth stocks, right? The new modern stuff. In Wall Street, right? What usually has the most growth, right? The new stuff, right? The AI stuff, the robotics, it used to be like biotechs, right? It used to be technology. The new stuff has the most intense growth. What do those stocks usually not do? They usually do not offer dividends. What happens when stocks already grow to a point and start stagnating and kind of establish themselves? They start offering dividends to pay people to own them because they're no longer going to have as extreme growth, but they're going to be a lot more stable. They are going to grow over time. That's kind of what I see vintage, but vintage doesn't pay dividends. So you're going to have more of the slower growth items that grow slowly over time. I don't want to be in those because I'm not trying to collect. Now, if you're trying to collect and invest, I think vintage is great. It's going to be more stable, more insulated. It's still probably going to grow over time, and you're going to get to own something you really want. Fantastic. But if I'm like in like an investing competition and someone asks me, Alex, vintage slab or modern, I'm taking modern. Every day. So that's my take on it, if that helps. Both are good. Depends on what your goals are. Where do I see the Chinese items? Now that's a question. I don't know, man. There's one argument for the exclusive arts being enough to carry all those sets. There's another argument that when things do regulate, a lot of these foreign languages are really going to drop off and it's just going to go back to Japanese and English. And a lot of the other TCGs will likely drop off. It looks like likely One Piece will probably stick around. No idea if Lorcana is going to make it. No idea if, Gundam and what Riftbound and, all these other smaller TCGs are going to make it. But everyone's a hero. Everyone's doing great when the market's good. When things contract, you really see what's going to stand the test of time. And it's going to be things like Pokemon, things like Magic, right? And so same thing with foreign languages. It's going to be English. It's going to be Japanese. Maybe Chinese cements its spot. Maybe not. It's a very heavy speculation. If you're right, you're going to be happy. If you're wrong, well, it might not be the best time for you. So depends on how risky you want to get. Depends on how risky you want to get. Yeah, we had someone rip 55 packs of Crown Zenith just last night, so Crown Zenith still has love, even today. Love the content. Very analytical, constructive feedback. Keep it going. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Is there a point where I'll stop investing in Pokemon cards heavily and move to more traditional investments? Yeah, I mean, if I ever got to the point of like financial independence and me and my wife had a large enough nest egg to literally not work anymore, yeah, I would probably set it up in some sort of different, maybe, some in annuity funds just to pay expenses for the rest of our lives. I'd also have some in different, like, obviously mutual funds, indexes, things like that. And so, yeah, like I would definitely stop like as aggressive as I am, but I think I'd always just invest in it because it's so easy, right? Like I'd still buy cases at release or at low prices of new sets and hold them for a number of years and then sell into the strength. Because if that's all you're doing and you're retired, like it doesn't take much, especially if you're using consignment services. All I can do is click a button, buy them, put them on a shelf. Then when I want to sell them in a few years, I just send them to a consignment service and make money. Yeah, I'll probably always do that, right? Like, why not? Why not? But yeah, if I ever got to the point where we had a large enough amount of money to literally like pay all of our living expenses, for until we die or whatever, I'd probably do something that would just go ahead and do that and take all the risk off the table. But we're nowhere near that. So if you guys will learn about me, I'm very much about a very laid back, easy, enjoyable life. I'm not trying to get richer than Elon Musk. I'm not trying to build a bigger business than Probstein. I'm just trying to do the best I can for me and my family. That's all I'm really trying to do. We're trying to chase financial freedom as quick of a path that we can while still, enjoying our life somewhat and having time together. I don't get too caught up in the guru culture and the, work till you drop. I can sleep when I die. And it's all about money. It's all about success and getting to newer levels. And if you don't make this amount of money, if your net worth's not this high, then you're a failure. I don't get into all that nonsense. Like, I think you're a failure if you're not happy in life. Those are the failures. If you can't find a way to be happy and you don't have people you enjoy around you, that's what it's really about. So that's the only time I would probably stop going so heavy. Have you ever thought to compare SV era is going to go down in history like EX era? Instead of short printing and loss of WotC, SV is going to be one of the scarcest products. It could be. It very well could be with how much is being open and the print runs not being that high. It 100% could end up being like that. 100%. A lot of people aren't talking about that either. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap things up here pretty quick. I'm going to take a few more questions here. Legit question. Okay, this has to be legit. Have you met other Pokemon YouTubers like Clover Cards? No. Bulbasaur, yeah, absolutely. I've had Bulbasaur on the channel. I've talked to them plenty of times at Collecticon events. Yeah. Garchomp, no. If so, are they cool in real life? Yeah, Bulbasaur, awesome dude, normal dude. Exactly like he is on his channel, on his interviews, just normal dude. Everyone, I mean, most people I've met are just normal people. I'm the exact way. Here's the only thing you might be able to say, depending on when you catch me, that I might be different than how I am online is like the energy. Like if we're just like chilling out or something, I'm not like high energy. But I mean, man, if we're out doing something active or something, I'm probably exactly like I am here, man. I don't know. I'm energetic. I talk with my hands. I don't know. I'm the same way. Bulbasaur's the same way. I would guess Garchomp, Clover Cards are probably the same way they are. I would guess. I don't think too many people are. Here's the thing. I don't think you can, I guess, but it's kind of hard to be live for like hours, multiple days a week, do videos all the time and really fake things for too long. I think people eventually get a pretty good idea of who you are. Now, if you were like just making a few videos every week, short form videos, you could probably fake a character for a long time, but eventually I think you just kind of come out. Steve and Brian on the same stream. That's right, guys. Sunday night this week. This Sunday night, we got the Evil Investor Steve and we got Brian Pokieni. We're all three doing a live stream together. We're creating the new cabal. Start your own steel collection. Love to hear it. Typically, how long have you seen take it to get 10x gains? I don't know, man. 10x is a lot. It's going to take years. Gonna take years. Where do you think PSA graded market is headed? Is correlating from, or is correcting from highs, but grading volume last month was all-time high by a wide margin. Also, PSA turnaround times are longer. Just like I always said, I think when times are good, people are going to feel like geniuses with slabs because they're going to outperform sealed. Now they're all overcorrecting more than sealed because that's what happens with singles and slabs. And so whatever, same thing like always. Slabs and singles are always going to be more volatile. The high end cards that everybody wants, the popular species, the top hits, they're probably going to be fine. They're going to stabilize. They'll recover over time. They'll run up again. I don't think anything happening with PSA is really going to affect what's going to happen with the slabs. So that's my take on that. My breakdown of modern versus vintage. What's the last you'd call vintage? Oh, I call vintage WotC, Wizard of the Coast era. I call mid era when Nintendo took over to like black and white. And then I would call like XY forward modern. But now you could even start throwing XY maybe into mid era now, or you could say like it's a XY and Sun and Moon are like modern, but then like Sword and Shield, Sorry Violet are ultra modern. However you want to decide it. But I've always considered WotC vintage and everything up till black and white mid era. But it depends on, everyone will have their own definition. Pokemon is likely 0.001% of my investment, but I have fun, like seeing product go up and my investment tanks. I will not miss it all. That's a nice spot to be in, man. I hope to be where you're at one day. Yo, what up? Pokieni, 90% of YouTubers, including Alex, are fantastic people in real life. I appreciate you, man. Same goes for Brian. Same goes for Brian. He doesn't mind. You can walk up to him. You can start chucking eggs at him. He doesn't mind. Bring a carton of eggs to the next Collecticon. Chuck him at Brian. He likes it. He enjoys it. Guys, we're going to call it there. I appreciate you guys all showing up to hang out on this Friday afternoon. If you guys want to stop by and check out the Pack Break stream tonight, we are live at 7 p.m. Central Time. Hope to see you guys all there. Not the eggs, he says. Hope to see you guys all there and continue to enjoy the hobby, guys. It's never as bad as it seems out there. Just remember that. We are out.